YouTube Live. We want it all.
Yo, welcome back on a lovely Tuesday fall evening. It's the Double M Show.
Yeah.
You got Mr. Mike Nice when MIB gear in the building. What's the word, bro?
I had to wear this, you know why? Because, I remember Halloween 2012. MIB threw one of the craziest Halloween parties.
You was there?
Yeah.
You was there, bro?
Was I there in 2012?
Were you at the party?
I was. Anyways, bro, introduce the show. You asking me about?
You brought it up. I remember that party very well. I had a hell of a time. I want you to tell me what you remember.
MIB set up a great Halloween party.
What do you remember about the party?
I remember. Hold on, let me make sure everything's working.
Everything's working fine.
I remember everybody got dressed up nice.
Okay.
Everybody was looking good.
Right.
And
but the party. What do you remember about the party?
And hold on. Everybody, the party was good. Music was popping. Everybody was having a great time at that Halloween party.
That's what you remember.
From what I heard, everybody had a great time at the party.
From what you heard. All right. I remember that. We went in as literally MIB.
Yeah, we went
in Men in Black for that Halloween party. I know I had a hell of a time. And it was great seeing everyone in their costumes and the music was popping. That was during the time, I think we was just talking about it. It was during the time French Montana was hot. Don't Stop was the song. Don't Stop was the Pop That. That's what it's called. Pop That was the song. Don't Stop. I tell you, man. Funny story about that song came out in the summer, and I wasn't a big fan of that song. It was just whatever. But once I got back on campus, I saw the magic that song did. And that song had a lot of magic. A lot of people like that song. And a lot of people had some peculiar dances to Pop That I enjoyed. So sure. Pop That has a special place in my heart now due to college. There's a lot of songs that, changed my perspective because of college.
Very true.
So what's going on, Wes? Wes is in the building. You get an LOL. So I know he knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, man. We live though.
We are live. We got a great show for you guys tonight. A lot of good things to talk about. But while we're on the topic of music in college, I do have a quick question. And this just to start off the show. What song came out when you were younger that you were like, damn, had this song come out when I was in college, it would have been crazy.
When I was younger, like high school?
Yeah, high school. I got two.
That's a good question.
And this is for everyone. One, Tipsy.
Everybody in the club
imagine Tipsy in college. That would have been a hell of a song.
Yeah, that's a good one. Whoa.
And another one, Blame It on the Alcohol. I feel like that's one. You just wake up, everyone would just get up the next one like, blame it on the alcohol.
Okay. Now that you brought that question, I got a song for sure. Get Low, Lil Jon and the East Side Boys. I feel like that's a song that if it came on RCC, that's a mob song.
Yes.
That's a song you jumping around wild and crazy. I can definitely see Get Low, Lil Jon and the East Side Boys being a song. That song came out, middle school for me. Whoa. Oh, that's a good. And I didn't know what that song was talking about at the time. I was like, yo, this song great. But
Wes He said, Shake Your Tail Feather. Ooh, that would have been a good, yep, that's what I think of. I see that like an Outside and Crank That. Crank That.
Soulja Boy?
Yeah. Crank That in college would have been fun.
They put that song on at a party. Everybody making a circle so people can do that. I can see it going. I can see
that would have been fun. You got the IG?
Yeah,
I got to put it up on my laptop.
I think Dirk said he was in school when he might be talking about Get Low. He probably talking about Get Low. That song, Yeah, that song for me, I remember being in 6th grade, 7th grade. I don't know. I went to some summer camp, and that's all we would play over and over and over again is Get Low, Lil Jon and the East Side Boys featuring the Yang Yang Twins. And I know what the song was about, but the beat was great. The song was great. Music video, wow.
Yeah, Yang Yang Twins, that era of crunk would have been a wild era to be in college in.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%.
If you guys think of any others, put it out there. This is something that just crossed my mind just now while talking about the show. But yeah, man, we're a week away, Mike.
A week away from election 2020.
That's his history, man. I love going on social media. I'm seeing a lot of people like, oh, just voted for the first time. Some people going out already voting early. Beautiful. I'm going out on Thursday. I'm not going to do it on the Tuesday of due to the fact that I just know how hectic and crazy that's going to be. And I'd rather just have my feet kicked up and just, watch the madness unfold.
Yeah, I'm going on Tuesday. I want to feel like a real American. I want to feel like a real American and walk into place my ballot in on the Tuesday.
What does that mean?
I don't know where that came from and why I started saying it. But walk in on the Tuesdays, election Tuesday. It's American duty to go vote on that Tuesday, election Tuesday. Or where did that come from? I don't know. I think I might have been talking to somebody about doing jury duty. It's your American civil duty. Well, same thing with the election.
Knock on wood. I haven't gotten.
Please, let's not talk about it. Let's not talk about it. Let's not talk about it.
I don't put it in the air.
Don't even put it in existence. I'm mad at myself that I even said it. But
I ain't never get no type of mail, no nothing.
Oh, you wait, never ever?
Never. I'm incriminating myself.
Still live everywhere.
I'm incriminating myself.
Check your mailbox next week. Bro. You talking on these lines? I promise you.
I haven't gotten no type of mail, no nothing about nothing.
Well, good luck. Good luck.
Well, I said my time is coming.
Oh,
boy, I should have kept my mouth shut.
Anyways, on the playlist for tonight. Again, shout out to the election happening a week away. But a couple other things we want to talk about. Marvin and I was thinking the year's winding down. Obviously, we got a lot of more shows to have. But, the end of a summer, getting into the fall. But during that time, last couple of months, people locked away in their house, quarantine time, pandemic, whatnot. It was a time where I know a lot of people, including myself and Marv, you're in your room, laid up in your bed on your couch, and you on Hulu, you on Netflix, you on Amazon Prime, maybe Disney Plus, whatever streaming outlets out there, and people got hip to shows, whether they're brand new shows that just came out, or whether they're shows that you've heard about, people have told you about, but you never got around to watching it. You just didn't have the time. I tell you, a lot of people had time over these last couple of months to catch up on shows, watch shows you never watched before. So we here on Double M want to know, what are some of your top quarantine 2020 shows that you've come across and watched over the last several months? Definitely want to have that conversation. Also, it literally just feels like the NBA season just ended and the Lakers hoisted the trophy with the NBA championship. But there's talk of getting the season started in less than 2 months, pretty much.
December 22nd is the date they're throwing out there.
They're planning on getting things started in less than 2 months. Is that too soon? Is that enough time to get ready to get kick into gear for another NBA season? What are the pros and cons of this happening? We want to hear from you. Marv and I have our thoughts for sure, but we want to hear from you guys as well. What do you feel about that? Also, keeping it in the sports realm, as we all know, Tom Brady's not a New England Patriot anymore. Tom Brady's down in Tampa Bay playing some of the best football of his career over the last couple of weeks I'm talking like in the MVP conversation now, and his team is definitely looking like Super Bowl contenders. Well, in New England, team sucks. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Team sucks right now. Is that a coincidence? Is that just, well, that's just how the team is right now. Or because Tom Brady is not here. Another conversation we definitely will have. Halloween coming up this Saturday. A lot of fond memories. We spoke about a little bit. There's also some more for sure. And then, was there one more thing on the playlist that I'm forgetting?
You brought up the election. You brought up, I think
election, NBA, Brady. I don't know. The conversation will flow per usual here on Double M. And for always, whatever you guys want to talk about, we all for it here on Double M.
Yes, sir. So let's kick it off with some quarantine TV shows.
Quarantine series
that, had us hooked, had you guys hooked from beginning to end. Like Mike said, there's probably been times people have told you about shows to watch and you just don't have it. You don't have time to be like, oh, that's just something I'll check out or whatnot, or I'll probably get to it. And you just never got to it. During this time, man, obviously, I know a lot of people are starting to get back into the swing of things. Some people are anyways, and, in their new normal per se. But during late spring, early summer, it was lockdown. It seemed like a lockdown. You were home for the most part watching TV. And so we want to hear your thoughts on what TV shows you were watching that was hot, going out, everything like that. For me, one show that I always wanted to watch, and I always heard great things about, it's the greatest TV show proclaimed. This is the show you need to watch. The Wire.
I've heard about it.
The Wire. And I've always heard about it my whole life about this, The Wire. And I finally I'm still not even done with it, but I finally had a chance because it's like 8 seasons. But I finally got a chance to really sit down and watch The Wire. I'm on season 4 now. That's probably one of the greatest shows I ever watched. And due to the fact that, it's a show that makes you think about everything. It has everything you would want in it. There's the race wars. You got the Italians, you got the mafia, you got the black people, and just how they interact within Baltimore. Then you got the crime and the drugs, and then you got the police. It has everything you want in the show, and it really makes you think about society and what's going on in the world right now between police brutality, corruption, Donald Trump, and all of this going on. The show just aged very well. It aged very, very well. Obviously, there's some old stuff too. The show came out in like 2001. So you see flip phones and you see a lot of things that will make you laugh because it's so old. But the concept of the show aged very well. So definitely, for all the people who said that The Wire is that show, you weren't lying. I've enjoyed every minute of it.
Okay. I've definitely heard The Wire for sure. I see in the comments here, I know Wes said Godfather of Harlem. It's a show I've heard about.
Never heard of it.
Definitely want to. I definitely have heard of it, but I've never got a chance to watch. Jenny said I got into A Good Place on Netflix. Never heard of it.
A Good Place? The show called?
It's called A Good Place.
I think the show's called The Good Place.
Okay, The Good Place. Okay.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it either, but plenty of shows never heard of it. People love it. Dirk said Tiger King. What a interesting series that was.
That was early.
Tiger King that was definitely early pandemic. Tiger King had his phase, and if you watch that series, it was definitely wild.
Never watched it.
God, it was wild. That guy's crazy. That guy's wild. Whole story wild. Whole thing coming out of obviously the main dude, Joe Exotic, is crazy. But then the whole story after that is, what's her name? Talking about the lady who possibly fed her husband to the dirt. What's her name? What's her name, bro?
Baskins.
Carol Baskins. Yeah, who possibly fed her husband to some tigers to get rid of him and get all the money and everything. Wild story. Insecure from Dirk.
Insecure is a good show.
Never watched Insecure.
It's a good show for young.
Jenny said that show's white trash.
Insecure is a good show for like young millennials.
Yeah, I've heard of Insecure.
Our generation.
Never watched it. Game of Thrones. My cousin in New York.
People swear by that.
Yeah, people. My cousin in New York, I went to visit years ago, and he's like, Mike, you gotta watch this show. You gotta watch it. And he I basically locked me in his apartment. It was like, just watch the whole season. Watch the whole season. And I watched it, and it wasn't my cup of tea. It wasn't my cup of tea.
Which season did you watch? The first one?
It was the dude that played Aquaman. He was in the show.
Yes, so it's like that. It was the first one.
Whatever season that dude from Aquaman was in there.
I watched the first season. I liked it. But it wasn't like, oh man.
It's not my type of show.
It wasn't something I was going to binge watch. And maybe I just didn't get into it a lot. And if there's ever another, God forbid, lockdown like we experienced, it'll be something.
How many seasons is that show?
I think it's 7 or 8.
Okay. Game of Thrones. Yeah, people love that show. People swear by that show.
No, Game of Thrones, yeah, people do not play when it comes to Game of Thrones.
Ozark.
That's my number 2.
I heard of that show.
Ozark's my number 2. I said The Wire 1. Ozark is a hell of a show. It middle class white family that finds themselves in with the cartel, mixed in with the cartel, and this shit goes down from there. Ozark. It's a show you gotta be patient with though, because like the first couple episodes start off slow, but once you're in, you're in. Ozark's a hell of a show.
Okay, so my show that I'm very grateful and happy that I watched early on in quarantine lockdown time, that my friends kept talking about, my boys kept talking about it, and I finally said, all right, keep hearing about it, let me give it a shot. Once I watched it, I was hooked. I got a couple shows, but first and foremost, Top Boy, Summer House. Top Boy, Summer House, nice series, great series. You know, just talk about, the drug game in England, if I'm correct.
Top Boy's a fire.
Top Boy was great, and then they came out with the second season that came back to life thanks to Drake, falling in love with the show and did everything he can to make sure that they came out with another season. And that season 2 was solid as well. Can't wait to find out if Driz is dead or not.
Driz is dead, bro.
We gonna talk about it. Don't give away the show to people.
You don't want already spoiling it.
I just said one thing.
Yeah. So I commented on him. He's dead.
No one knows who.
I mean, wait. Or alive. He's not dead. Whoa.
I think Driz is dead.
Yeah, Driz is not dead.
But anyways, besides the point, Top Boy, great show. Check that out for real.
Top Boy is good.
What was the other show?
So I did Wire. I said.
You said Ozark was.
I said Ozark number 2. Number 3, Money Heist.
Money Heist. Never seen.
Money Heist. When you talk about binge-worthy show, like, there's some shows that at the end of every episode, they just do something where you're like, damn, now I'm tired. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, but I gotta stay up and find out what happens next. That's Money Heist. It's how to describe it. It's a Spanish show in Spain, located in Spain, and they pull out a crazy, probably unpredictable heist. And there's this one character named the Professor, and he's like the mastermind behind it all. And he's just a genius in how he manipulates things. It's a great show. One of my favorites that I've watched on Netflix for sure. That was very binge-worthy. Number 3, Money Heist.
My number 2 show for sure was Snowfall. Snowfall, which I think on FX, but the series was on Hulu, and that was a little later on. But I've always heard of Snowfall because if you watch FX and watch the shows, like I definitely watched FX to watch Atlanta, right? And you'd always see the commercial of Snowfall, season series debut of Snowfall. So whatever, Snowfall. But like most people, you need another show to watch. turns to Snowfall. And Top Boy Snowfall, I definitely would say, had me up some nights till maybe 4 o'clock in the morning. Like, yo, I need to know what happens next.
Snowfall's great.
I must know what happens next. Oh, hey, Sons of Anarchy, man. The thing with Sons of Anarchy for me, my friend got me hit to watch the first season. I watched the first season. That show was good, but then I fell off. Then my other boy who watched the show had me watch. If it's I don't remember how many seasons it was, but if it's 7 seasons, my boy had me watch the season finale of season 6, and it was crazy. And I said, this is how the show ended? This is how the season ended? I must watch the final season. And I remember back at my parents' crib, I used to beg. I was like, yo, no one bothered me at 8 o'clock when this show come on, because I am hooked. Hooked. Sons of Anarchy, great show. Definitely recommend it.
Jenny said that show had her on the edge. I think she was talking about Money Heist. I could be wrong. Sorry, I missed that comment. So Snowfall was gonna be one of mine as well. But due to the pandemic, I've watched a lot of shows. Top Boy and Snowfall are 2 shows that I watched and I enjoyed. Trying to think of another one that really had me like, yeah, I have to tell people about.
One show that I definitely got a chance to finish because of quarantine was The Office.
The Office was during.
Wow. I went back and because I've seen random pieces of The Office, but at the beginning of quarantine, I said I'm watching Office from season 1 to the end, and I will say that show is absolutely positively hilarious.
Yeah, Office. Dude, I got bullied into watching The Office. you tell people, oh, you never watched The Office. They look at you like you got 4 heads.
Yeah, I know that.
You never watched The Office? I got bullied into it. And then I watched the first couple episodes. So this shit sucks. This thing sucks.
Show, bro.
This sucks. This show sucks. Put it out on Facebook. Everything people joke me. You just gotta keep watching. You gotta keep watching. Kept watching. Couple episodes in, might get you sparking a little bit. That was kind of funny. Then you start to get to know the characters. And I think that's what you got to do with that show. It's not a show you can just watch randomly, and you got to get to know the characters. And once you get to know the characters in The Office, everything starts to become hilarious all of a sudden.
That show's hilarious.
That shows
Michael, the Whites. Oh man, that show's great. Obviously, once Michael left, I mean, it was still a little funny, but it didn't have the same kick. But The Office is definitely a show.
Yep. Dirk said he rewatched Avatar. I did the crazy thing about me rewatching Avatar. I did it right before it went on Netflix. I didn't know it was going to come on Netflix. Avatar was one of the shows I watched when I was younger. I was like, let me rewatch it, and I watched the whole thing. And then maybe a week after I was done watching it, Netflix decides to put it up instead of me going on my little sites and things and risking my laptop to watch the damn show. Netflix had it. But Avatar was a great watch. Jenny says The Legend of Korra. She actually watched that too. That's the sequel of Avatar. Jenny says she hasn't seen Office fully.
Watch it, Jenny. Watch The Office from start to finish. Like I'm like you. I've seen random episodes. But if you watch it from season 1, episode 1 to the end, it'll be great to you. It'll be great. I definitely recommend it. Yeah, man.
I'm trying to think. Was there anything else I watched?
Oh, The Boys.
And The Boys is something I just finished.
Prime.
Something I just finished.
Woo!
That show is
you know what?
Weird.
It's literally. To quick plot summary, like it's literally superheroes in real life. Like, superheroes, see how they interact through like the Marvel universe and the DC. No, this is like realistically what superheroes would be like in society. And that show is
they pretty much exactly like Mike said. What would happen if there was really superheroes in this world? And how would they interact with humans? And like, how would it be? Marvel's and DC. We gotta remember those are comic books.
Fantasized.
This Boys is really good. It's weird as hell. If you don't like gory, if you don't like crude jokes and crudity, like it's very crude. It doesn't pull any punches. It's got some things that's gonna make you like, oh my god, they really took it there. But the concept is fire. I enjoyed it. Last show, I would say Umbrella Academy.
That's another show I've heard about, have yet to watch, have yet to give it a chance.
Umbrella Academy, definitely binged that during the pandemic, that I enjoyed for sure.
Any other shows, feel free to drop them in the comments. I'm always looking for a new show to watch. I'm always open.
Alexa said Umbrella Academy was good. That's another weird show too. But
is it also about superheroes or something like that?
Yeah, in a way. It's it's a family of superheroes.
Okay.
It's a family of superheroes, and that's all I can say really. It's a weird show to describe.
Okay. Big Mouth.
I'm not watching no damn Big Mouth.
I
watched one episode of Big Mouth and I said, yeah, this isn't for me.
It's another show I've heard about, but I've never watched.
But people really like Big Mouth. That's a show that people really like, but that one episode turned me off.
What's the show that y'all be talking about all the time that y'all currently watching?
Oh, Lovecraft?
This Lovecraft. Everybody was loving Lovecraft. Never seen it. I don't think I'm too interested from just the things I've heard. Not my type of show, I don't think. But people love
Lovecraft.
Lovecraft is
the concept of Lovecraft is crazy. Very smart show. Gets you thinking. Another show, I know I keep saying it, where you gotta have the stomach to watch some of the stuff. At first it comes out, it's like, oh my god, this is the Black Stranger Things. And then it just goes into its own different lane.
Black Stranger.
The first episode is the Black Stranger Things. You're like, oh, this is about to be interesting. And then it goes off into its own little direction where you can't compare that show to anything I've ever seen in my life.
Interesting. And then I know you guys also watch what's the Power? What's the new Power that's out?
Oh, new Power. I guess that's binge word. Power Ghost Book 2 or Book 2. Power Book 2. That's okay to me. It's not a show I'm recommending to people.
Never watched Power.
It's alright. It reminds me of.
I may what, the new Power or Power in general?
New Power.
I may binge watch the original Power.
Yeah, original Power is great.
But we'll see what happens with this new one.
But once you watch the original Power, you're gonna want to know. You're gonna want to find out what happens next.
Okay, we'll see. Maybe I'll give that a shot. But yeah, plenty of shows out there. There's probably a lot more that we haven't seen, haven't talked about. But again, during these times where you had all the time in the world to watch shows, so these were the times to do it. Yeah. I know Hulu and Netflix and Amazon Prime and
their stock
rose during this pandemic because people at home. People that probably didn't have these streaming services, like, look, I need something. And they put the money up every month to get them.
And some movies that couldn't come out in theater
went straight to
those streaming services.
Yeah.
Another one that's getting big is HBO Max. And so
HBO Max. Only reason why I want to watch HBO Max is to watch that Snyder cut of the Justice League.
Yeah, should be good.
Coming out next year.
Should have an actual plot to the movie.
From everything I'm hearing about that Snyder cut, it's gonna be solid.
It's gonna be long.
I'll watch it all. I'm more of a DC fan and Marvel fan. And I was talking to my cousins about this earlier. I wish DC went in a better direction with how they handle their movies, but
yeah, DC messed up.
Yeah, they messed up.
DC. If you are a DC fan, you're not happy with the direction they went with. DC, how they went about it. I mean, you love the trilogy of Batman Begins through
the
Dark Knight to Batman Begins to Dark Knight Red. You love that. You love that trilogy, and then from there, things get muddled.
Yeah,
things got muddled. And I mean, Joker came out. Joker was really good. Wonder Woman was really good, and then everything in between is just a mess.
It's just a bunch of movies. Like they don't follow a timeline. Like Joker's a separate movie,
right? And if they want to go that direction, that's okay too.
But they have to start from the beginning.
Yeah,
and it's too deep in right now.
What are your thoughts on the new Batman that's coming out? Have you seen anything?
I've seen the trailer. First and foremost, I don't know how I feel about the new guy that they chose to play Batman. That's the Twilight dude.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him a chance.
I don't know how I feel about him playing Batman. Like I personally was fine with Ben Affleck and the Batman and the Bruce Wayne that he was. I didn't have a problem with it.
They couldn't continue.
But I obviously understand that, from this storyline of the new Batman, it's supposed to be a younger Batman who's just learning the ropes of what it takes to become Batman and all. I get that. The guy playing it, it remains to be seen how he does in a role. I mean, he's been in a lot of different roles, I guess, throughout his life, and he's done a solid job in many different roles. But Batman's huge.
Batman's a big movie. You really can't mess this one up.
Sure.
But if they put all the trust on Patterson, I think he's gonna do all right. The movie looks okay. Looks dark as it should be for a.
They just showed one scene. He just looked like a teenage Degrassi looking dude with makeup on. I was pissed. I'm like, why got Batman looking like this? Like guy going through a teenage crisis. Like it just didn't look good to me. But I don't know. I'll give it a chance. I'll watch it. I'm definitely gonna watch it. It's Batman. I'm gonna watch it regardless. But
Dirk said, "Do they need an Alfred? You can't have Batman without an Alfred." I don't understand the question.
Dude, Dirk is stupid. But yeah, man. Quarantine time definitely produced some solid shows for sure. But let's move on. Switch gears a little bit. Let's talk about.
Every time I hear switch gears, I think about what's his name, LeVar Ball. How he got in trouble on ESPN for telling Molly that he happy to switch gears with her.
What?
He just said it
on first take.
I don't think he meant anything wrong with it. It didn't seem like he
did. He say, "I'll happily switch gears with you"?
Molly said, "Okay." Molly goes, "All right, let's switch gears." I was like, yeah, I'll happily switch gears with you."
Okay, he said it like that.
Like,
if he said it like that,
Stephen A goes, and then all of a sudden the next day they're like, "Yeah, he's not coming back to ESPN." But I don't think it was malicious. If anyone else knows what I'm talking about, please comment on it. But every time I hear switching gears now, I think of LeVar saying that. It's hilarious.
I don't remember that at all. But
I'll show you the video after the show.
That's crazy. But yeah, Tom Brady, the GOAT. Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback to ever play the game of football, no longer in New England, on the Patriots. He's now a member of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And he and that team is balling. I'm talking about that Buccaneers team has had a history over the last couple of seasons, several seasons, of being absolutely, positively trash. Terrible, horrible, garbage. Jameis Winston has sucked. The team has sucked. It just haven't been good. Haven't been a playoff team. Nothing good has come out of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers over the last several seasons. Tom Brady is now a member of that team. And, even though they got Tom Brady at the start of the season, they got Tom Brady, they got Gronk. But for the most part, the team is the same. Nothing much has changed from that team. I think they got Ndamukong Suh on defense. I'm trying to think if they got any other major acquisition I can think of. But for the most part, Tom Brady and Gronk are the biggest additions to the team. And now that team, if you don't have that team as serious contenders in the playoffs or to make the Super Bowl, then you haven't been paying attention to football if you're a football fan. Because that team is looking dangerous. On top of the fact that they're adding Antonio Brown to Tom Brady's list of weapons, that team is dangerous. And even if they didn't add Antonio Brown to the team, they've still been putting up numbers and getting busy these first 7 weeks of the season.
Yeah.
On the other hand, you have the Patriots, who, like I said to start the show, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Team sucks. 2-5. Losing record at this point in the season. The question is out to you, Marv, to people tuned in, watching, and paying attention to the season. Is it a coincidence that Tampa Bay is this successful and the Patriots suck? Is Tom Brady the difference maker?
I'll say this.
2-4. My fault. 2-4, Dirk. I'm sorry. 2-4.
What'd you say?
I said 2-5.
You said you keep saying that. You just keep you did that earlier.
I think the loss is already coming to the Bills. But yeah, 2-4. My fault.
I'll say this. If Tom Brady was on this team currently, with how the roster is constructed, you bring in the COVID issues and what have you, maybe they're 3-3. Maybe Brady gets you one. Yeah, they're 3-3 because Brady's not losing. Brady's not losing to Denver. Brady's not losing to Denver. Cam Newton was really bad in that game. I think Cam put you in a position against Seahawks that Brady didn't show what he could do in the previous year. I think Brady wins the first two games that the Patriots won. So I'd say Brady on his team, they're 3-3 with how the roster is constructed. Since the COVID issue, since Cam's been back, since the team's been depleted, team's been trash. Team's been really bad. Now, Brady, you flip the side, you look how Brady's doing in Tampa Bay. I'm confused why everyone's shocked. Everyone goes and anoints Brady as the GOAT. You're telling me the GOAT's going to Tampa with a good roster. We said it earlier. Tampa Bay's defense was good last year. They were a top 5 defensive team last year. They're looking really good this year. Brady is a great quarterback. He had depletion of weapons. Did it look like he was slowing down a little bit? Yeah, it did. But when you give him a plethora of weapons, if there's one quarterback that knows how to dish it out and spread it out to anybody when you give him talent, it's Tom Brady. I don't know why anyone's surprised that the Buccaneers are 4-2, 5-2. It shouldn't shock anyone at all. They're obviously this is a team that didn't have a regular training camp, didn't have a preseason. So if they start off shaky, that was to be expected. Now moving forward, they're going to be good. You bring in Antonio Brown, that is huge for this team, due to the fact that their 2 star receivers in Evans and Godwin can't stay healthy.
Nope.
They can't stay healthy at all. So you add in AB, who we think is not super old, maybe 31 now, still has something in the tank, as that extra insurance, and he's still probably the best wide receiver I've ever seen since Randy Moss. That team should be a Super Bowl favorite in everyone's eyes right now. I mean, yes, you have Seahawks. We all know defensively they're trash. Green Bay, they got exposed by Brady's team. Saints are the Saints. Drew Brees isn't the same. 49ers, Rams,
none of those teams have the firepower that Brady has.
I think Tampa Bay needs to be the Super Bowl favorite coming out of the NFC right now. And it shouldn't be shocking.
I couldn't imagine. A lot of people got on Brady's case last year, the last couple of years, because Brady always seemed to have this attitude and frustration and whatnot. I understood it then, and I understood it.
Oh, my fault. Before you start, Dirk says Brady wins KC game. Yeah, you're right. He does, but Kim wins that game too. Kim is playing, I believe. The way he was playing earlier pre-COVID. So yeah, you're right.
What was I saying? Yeah, people see how Brady was upset last year and the last couple of years. Brady's always angry, got frustration, and maybe it didn't make sense to people then. They just, why is this old guy frustrated and mad? And things not going well. It just seems frustrated and mad. didn't make sense to you then. It should be clear-cut and frustrating. I mean, clear-cut and obvious to you now. Tom Brady's playing on a team that not only has weapons, but they looked at the team and looked at an option out there in Antonio Brown and said, look, we're good, but we can even go out there and make it even easier for the greatest quarterback of all time. He's winding down towards the end of his career, but he's still playing pretty elite football. If he's playing elite football at 43 years old, he's the greatest to ever do it. Why not make his job easier by adding weapons to the team? That's all Brady ever wanted in New England. And I tweeted this out the other day. You know, if the Patriots gave weapons to Brady like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers has done in his first year there, I guarantee Brady would still be in New England. And when I tell you, I got crucified on Twitter.
That's wrong take.
And the easy take is, well, you know, the Patriots were successful. The Patriots won Super Bowls, and they made AFC Championship games. Like, I get it. But a lot of those seasons, let's not get it twisted. Yeah, they eventually the Patriots turned it around and marched their way to the playoffs. Like, I get that. That's fine. But let's not act like during parts of the season, especially the last couple of seasons, not even last one, because yes, they went out and got Antonio Brown and they had Gordon and tried Demaryius Thomas and different things. But there's been a couple of seasons sprinkled in there where you'd be like, damn, get Brady some help. Damn, Brady needs another weapon. Damn, Brady had another option. You know, some of these guys, Gronk gets hurt for a year. Edelman got hurt a couple times. Like, if they went out and got guys. I don't remember the years exactly, but there was some season or a couple seasons. I was like, damn, Anquan Bolden, who wants to be traded or is a free agent, make that happen. And they didn't do it. All in all, I'm saying is we see what Brady's capable of doing when he has talent around. Yes, he's not one of these new age quarterbacks that can scramble for 10, 15 yards. We know that. That's what the direction of the NFL is headed now with a lot of these quarterbacks that are there. Brady's one of the last outlaws. And as this pocket quarterback, if he has the options and the weapons, he will be successful. And if he was surrounded by that in New England, I guarantee you they would be successful and he would be a happy guy still wanting to play for New England.
Say that tweet again that you said.
If they consistently, what did I say? They consistently got him weapons. If they consistently got him weapons, I think he'd still be here. Something along those lines.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Hey, people saw that he was angry last couple seasons with the people he was talking to.
Yes, the last couple seasons. Everyone can agree. The Rams season, there was no weapons, and last season was trash. You go any other year, Patriots are the favorite in the AFC every single time, due to Tom Brady and who he's throwing it to.
It's a different kind of combination of guys he's around. I don't know if he's had an offense around him this talented since.
Yeah, but that's a different
2007.
That's a different statement from what we're talking about. If you're saying Brady would have stayed if he consistently got what, you should have just said Brady would have stayed if the last 2 years Patriots did whatever. And you can't even say that because the last year they tried everything they could. They tried everything. There's nothing worked out. They tried Josh Gordon. They tried AB, Demaryius Thomas, all of them for some crazy reasons. If it was any other team, it probably would have worked out. But Patriots they couldn't get lucky enough. None of them worked out.
Still don't know what happened to Gordon.
Didn't work out. Like, none of these things worked out, but the Patriots definitely did.
They did try last year. They did
try. Josh Gordon, they tried the year before with Josh Gordon. Then you saw that team with Josh Gordon, you're like, oh, okay, Patriots are going to be a problem with Gordon. Gordon wasn't the same explosive player that we thought he was going to be. So they did try. It didn't work out. Brady was gone. Brady was leaving regardless. That relationship had already dissolved way prior to the last 2 years. And the fact that the team wasn't great made it even easier.
But you know, if we could sit here and say, you said it, Dirk said it, I think majority of people would say and believe if Tom Brady was on this current team, the way it's constructed, they probably.
I only give them one game better. I don't think the Patriots are doing anything spectacular.
You say 3-3.
I say 3-3 due to the and I'm
4-2.
And I'm saying 3-3 because let's say Cam doesn't have COVID. I think Patriots would be 3-3 if Cam didn't have COVID. If Brady was here, I think Patriots are 3-3.
What are 3 losses? Denver, Kansas City,
and 49ers.
49ers.
They're beating Denver.
Beating Denver and they're beating Kansas City.
And I'm thinking they're beating Kansas City with Cam playing as well.
Okay.
I'm saying that if Cam plays, they beat Kansas City that game.
Yeah, I agree. They can't
so
play.
I don't. So basically, what I'm saying is, I don't think the Patriots' record is being that much drastically changing with Tom Brady on this team.
If Tom Brady's on this team. Are they?
So you're telling me, pretty much anyone's telling me, Tom Brady's on this team. They beat the 49ers last week. Because we all agree, they're winning with Denver. We all agree that they beat Kansas City, either Brady or Cam. So you're telling me, if y'all think the team is different with Brady, y'all telling me they're beating the 49ers last week.
They're putting up more than 3 points.
Yeah, they're putting up more than 6, sure.
The defense was terrible against the 49ers. I think, if anything, the way that game is set up, because I don't think the 49ers defense is anything spectacular. If anything, they lose on a shootout because the defense lets you down.
And don't get me wrong, Cam was trash. Cam was really bad against the 49ers. But who's he going to throw the ball? Brady was going to throw the ball to Jacoby Myers and Demir Bird and
receiving course terrible.
And with no Edelman, no tight ends, he was going to beat the 49ers? Come on now.
Receiving core is trash. And, like, if you thought we saw Brady upset seasons prior, playing on this team this year, if he was here, it'd make him retire after this season. He wouldn't want to stick around. I'd be sick. Brady on this team, as great as he is, and don't get me wrong, obviously you have talented wide receivers that help this situation. But Brady, statistically, if he was on this team, would have a terrible. We'd really be like, yo, this dude's 43 years old. He sucks. I think more people are putting the blame on Cam a little bit now, but I think the majority of smart football players know that the offense and receiving core are terrible. I think if Brady was here with this team, he'd take a lot of flack too.
Yeah, he won't be no Super Bowl MVP. I mean, he won't be no MVP candidate.
Yeah. Brady would take a lot of blame if he was here. But either way, at the end of the day, another conversation is going to come out of it is, well, you see what Brady's doing and Belichick struggling. Maybe all of them years were thanks to Brady. Because that was a conversation going, they're on separate teams now. Let's see what.
That's a stupid take.
Will it be the head coach who finds success, or will it be Brady? Who was all this success attributed to?
That's a dumb take. Then that person doesn't know football. Look at what the Patriots got as a roster. And the season's not over. This
is the team that kind of Patriots put together offensively. This is the team that they put together. Like, do you see them coming into the season any differently offensively if Brady decided to stick around?
If Brady decided to stick around, do I feel like the offense would be different?
Would they have maybe done different things in the offseason? Because let's be honest, they didn't do anything in the offseason. They added Bird and tried out Marquise Lee and stuff like.
Yeah, I mean, possible. It's possible. I mean, who are they going to attract during the offseason with Jarrett Stidham as their starting quarterback?
Does Belichick and the Patriots not hold a prestigious level to attract anybody?
No. If Jarrett Stidham's your quarterback, not at all. I don't care who you are.
Want to come play for the mighty Bill Belichick?
No, not if your quarterback is Jarrett Stidham. And plus, It's not like players are lining up, knocking on the door and say, oh my God, I want to play for Bill. When have you ever heard players say, I really just want to play for Bill Belichick? That's never happened. Like Bill Belichick, as great as a coach he is, and he can go down as the greatest coach ever, you don't hear players willing going out and say, oh man, once I'm a free agent, I really want to get coached up by Bill Belichick. No, they want to have lives. They want to have fun. Like, players are not out there hampering saying Brady's gone. Now I really want to go play for Bill Belichick. That's not a thing. And you're setting up a roster saying, hey, Jarrett Stidham's out is going to be our starting quarterback. Who wants to be the wide receiver and play for us? Nobody's looking at the Patriots that way. Cam Newton came way too late for any free agency moves to have happened. Had it been earlier, maybe you could have attracted somebody. Tied in. Maybe you bring Greg Olsen with Cam. Who knows? Things definitely change. But when you were filling a roster with Jarrett Stidham or Brian Hoyer, which looked like it would have been Brian Hoyer to start off the season with, which is wild. You're not attracting nobody. But that's what you get when you're going rebuild.
Rebuild mode might be exactly where this team is headed very soon.
Dirk, my fault. Some things Dirk has here. He would fill out the clip. Are the Patriots a playoff team? They're in the 12th place in the AFC. So, conversation we had earlier on our Patriots roundtable. Are the Patriots a playoff team? Look, couple things people need to remember. Up again. 7 teams make the playoffs this year. It's a different year. 7 teams make the playoffs. You know what that means? It means bums make the playoffs this year. You look at the NFC East, one of those bums are going to make the playoffs. Maybe two. Maybe two due to this the new rule. 7 teams make the playoffs. Now, prior to how this season went down, looking at the first 9 games of the schedule, I have the Patriots going 4-5. 4-5. Now, the route that they're getting to 4-5 is a lot different than I thought. However, if they can beat, which is a big if, a huge if, but if they can beat the Buffalo Bills this weekend, get their swagger back somehow, then you face the Jets the week following on Monday night, I believe. You're back being 4-4. You got the Ravens the following week after that. I think you lose that game. I think we can all guarantee that. And you're 4-5, and the schedule eases up. The schedule is friendly to you. After you get through these gruesome 9 games, the schedule eases up. You lost your bye, unfortunately. I think you lose your bye because due to COVID.
Yeah, the bye is gone.
You lost your bye, which is very unfortunate. But the schedule eases up, and you can go on a little run to make a playoff run. And this is COVID. This is a COVID year. You don't know what teams are going to fall. We just happen to be the only team that lost our quarterback through COVID.
That is true.
Which is crazy. But we were the team anointed to lose our quarterback. If Brady gets COVID, the Bucs are going to struggle for a couple of weeks. So we'll see, man. We'll see what happens. But I think the Patriots can make the playoffs. They made it a lot tougher now. They made it a lot tougher. But if they beat the Buffalo Bills, I'll say it on this show. I'll say it on other shows. Patriots can make the playoffs.
Yeah, I won't completely slam the door on the Patriots playoffs hopes. It's gonna take a lot better football being played by this team. Offensively, defensively, I still think, even though I don't think the defense is playing well, and obviously last week's game doesn't help that case in terms of 49ers having their way with you, having the way with the defense, I still somewhat think there's some strength in the defense when it comes to this football team. But offensively, you're going to need the offense to be better. The run game, you're going to need everything you can get out of Cam, James White. Hopefully, Sony Michel's back Damian Harris is healthy now. Burkhead's been playing some solid football. You're going to need a lot out of that run game. Cam is going to have to show why he's one of the best dual threat quarterbacks to ever play the game. You're going to need a lot out of this offense to really make a run. I mean, and they showed flashes of that in the first 2 games of the season. And I mean, you brought up something in the roundtable, how they kind of shifted away from how they were playing offensively the first 2 games. And I agree with you. They need to get back to that. Again, use Cam as the threat. He's a threat. He's a threat throwing the ball, and he's a threat running the ball. Use that threat. And I think they'll have success. But it's not going to be easy, especially going up against a team that's kind of firing on all cylinders like the Bills.
Yeah. No one in their right mind thought that Cam could come into the Patriots team and run a Tom Brady-esque system where he's in the pocket throwing the football. Now, I know I've said it and I was wrong. Well, let me go back to my original point. So no one, in their right mind thought that Cam could play a Tom Brady-esque system, meaning stay in the pocket, dish the ball out, so and so. And to everyone's credit, we knew that, Patriots, Josh McDaniels, they have a complex playbook. They were going to cater their playbook to their quarterback in Cam Newton, which they did the first 3 games. They catered it to Cam. Let Cam do what he does best. Get his momentum going, get him right. Once he got COVID and he came back from COVID, the whole offense changed. The whole offense, the way they played, run hard football, get Cam in RPOs, get Cam running in. All of that changed all of a sudden. I don't know why, but you put Cam in a system where he's playing like he's Tom Brady, and he's not Tom Brady. He's getting picked off. He's making bad throws. He's getting inside his own head now. It's not good. You got to get your quarterback confident, get him going. And I know earlier, while we were watching him when he was run heavy in that system, I'm saying it, Mike's saying it, like, oh, let Cam throw the ball.
Yeah.
Let Cam throw the ball. Let Cam throw. Well, they let him throw the last 2 games. And obviously, like I said, the offense has been different. And that's something that McDaniels and Belichick got to figure out, how to get him into better situations. And that's not to discredit Cam. Cam got to play better. Those were some pathetic interceptions he threw. Some bad read, bad ball. To the point, last week I had to ask myself, this dude injured? And anytime you got to start asking if someone's injured, that's when you know something's really, really wrong.
They got plenty of time left in the season. Season's still
early,
fairly young.
Can't believe as a Patriot fan base, we're saying they got plenty of time.
They got time to turn things around. Words I never thought I'd say about a Patriots team. Like, you've seen them struggle, but was our stress level this high? It's never been at this level before, but it remains to be seen with the Patriots, with Tom Brady. With the Patriots, Cam Newton, Bill Belichick, what they can do to try to get things on the right track and hopefully be a playoff team, something we're used to seeing from the New England Patriots year in and year out.
For sure. Wow. It took us a while, but we finally got to Brady and Cam Newton talk, huh? We finally got to that place because Brady just had a hell of a game.
Come here.
But moving forward, Los Angeles Lakers are the defending champs, 17 championships. They just won in October. We're still in October. And obviously, NBA's got to come back eventually. The question is when. And the plan that's been brought out right now, according to Shams, is that the NBA wants to start December 22nd. That's basically next week. If you see how fast this year is going, that's very, very soon. They want to start off December 22nd and have a 72-game season. 72-game season in December, we're talking about a lot of back-to-backs. And we're talking about rookies who are not going to have probably a full training camp. You probably got rookies right now that Who knows what shape they're in?
Yeah.
Think about the other 8 teams that weren't in the bubble. What shape are they in?
Them guys had a lot of time
That's
off.
maybe 8 months,
A lot of
6
time
to 8
off.
months of not playing basketball.
And like, are you focused on staying in basketball shape off that long?
That's a lot of dedication to tell somebody, hey, for 8 months you got to be in tip-top shape. It's not happening. There's gonna be times where I'm gonna take this weekend off. I'm not playing, but
I'm not a game.
Right, like that's a lot of players are gonna come out of shape. I mean, the thing we said the same thing about the bubble players gonna come out of shape. They did all right, but this is a larger amount of time, and then you're telling people in a pandemic to start the season during the holiday season. Christmas, New Year's, back on the road, gone, leaving. I mean, all that stuff, that's gonna piss some players off. And once again, the rookies. I mean, it's not a strong draft class. Are rookies going to play? And how good are they going to be to start off this season? And third thing, you thought load management was bad last year? Load management is going to be at its peak. This is going to be the LeBron James going into his 17th year. LeBron James is not playing 72 games this year after winning the ship a month ago. That's not happening. Danny Green came out and said, "Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if LeBron takes the next month off. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of teams that have veteran players they just don't play their guys early on. It's interesting. I understand why the NBA's got to do it. Probably money situations, TV contracts, and things like that. But December 22nd is very close. I would have loved for them to start maybe Martin Luther King, another big basketball day. Start on Martin Luther King Day. That gives you another extra month to get players after the holiday season and everything like that. Players get focused, you have training camp, get acclimated to the team, enough time to do free agencies and all of that, and then you get the season started. That's my suggestion, but I think December 22nd is a little too early.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's very soon. That's very soon, knowing that the season literally just ended a couple weeks ago. Granted, was every single team in the league playing a couple weeks ago? No, but like still, the idea that the NBA season in general just ended a couple weeks ago, and they want to get ready to start it pretty much 2 months.
We haven't
2 months later.
Draft yet.
They haven't had the draft, no real off season. It just seems very soon. First and foremost. Second of all, just thinking from a personal family aspect, people got this time off, quarantine, pandemic that's going on is not necessarily going anywhere. You basically want to start the season. And before I even say this, the reason why they want to start it around Christmas is because they know that's a big money-making time. NBA Christmas games are huge. Everybody's tuned in on Christmas Day, watching whatever big-time NBA matches
all I do on Christmas.
Yeah, you eat with your family, you eat food, drink a little, and you're watching NBA games. That's Christmas Day for you. And NBA knows that's big money to be made that day. But, again, thinking and looking at it from a personal family aspect, especially in the times we're living in, knowing that the season had to have gotten cut short. I understand if it started at a regular timeline, from October going through November, December, that's just a regular season. But now you're talking about, hey, right before a holiday, a big-time family holiday, we want to take you away from your family and get you right back to the season. I don't like that. I understand the season has to get cut short, the pandemic and what's going on, but not during the holidays.
COVID changes that.
It changes everything, especially people who want to, there's players who, especially teams that were in the bubble, they spend all this time in the bubble away from their family. In the bubble, away from their family, not traveling and going to spend time with your family and going to play a game. No, they've been in a bubble away from their family. You're talking about one of the biggest holidays coming up where it's a family time. Christmas, leads right into New Year's. Big holiday time spent together with your family. You want to ring in the New Year. If you're going to start the NBA season, I say do it after those pass. Because, again, it's too short of a timeline to get it started, in my opinion. And two, don't take away from these players you just made half of them stay locked down in a bubble. Now you want them to get right back to work and jump into things and take them away from their family. Nah, I don't like that idea personally. And then,
COVID's still there.
COVID's still around.
So.
Like, do you know for sure if you wanted to start in December, which it's 2 months away? Are you sure that everything I'm hearing from the NBA, their plan is to have games back in home arenas with fans? That's what they want. That's what they really want. Are you guaranteeing and sure that you can have fans back in home arenas, or do you plan on just doing it like the NFL, where you'll have sectioned off areas for some fans and have it socially distanced or whatnot? Is that what you want it to look like? What are you doing? I think starting around Martin Luther King Day is a great thing to do, not only just for giving the teams more space, but also in the fact that we still know what's going on in this country. Martin Luther King, the way the NBA did everything to put social injustice to the forefront of, the bubble and make sure that's a conversation that's still happening. Why not continue that right around Martin Luther King Day, which is a huge, national holiday that exemplifies everything that, the NBA was kind of standing for throughout the last couple of months. I think Martin Luther King Day would be a great time to get things started. And again, on top of that, for the league aspect, it gives the teams, players more time to prepare.
Yeah, man. And what's the plan? Because one thing we know, something you just brought up, is it's not going to do like the NFL. We can all agree NFL's a mess. It's a complete mess. And one thing that NBA does is when they do something, they do it right.
Yeah.
So you go through the season. One thing we also understand is COVID don't look like it's going anywhere. I don't know when this vaccine is going to happen and whatnot, but COVID doesn't look like it is going anywhere. There's going to be players that catch it if the traveling consists and everything like that. It's going to be brought up again. As much as we hate to hear it, a bubble. Another bubble is going to be brought up. If this COVID stuff ramping up here in Massachusetts, we're getting freaking phone alerts now about COVID, and kids that were doing in person gotta go back and do remote. Like, it's getting worse in the sense, if we're being real about this, it's getting worse out here. Now you want to start up the season in a month or two, which nothing's going to change with the situation. So another bubble is going to be brought up, or maybe during the playoffs or something like that. It's like, once the playoff starts, we're going to have to do a bubble system. Something's going to get brought up again. And how's that going to look like? Players are really going to want to do that again. You hear players now, they're doing interviews coming out of the bubble like, yeah, that was cool and all. We never want to do that ever again. Like, ever again. You saw the Lakers when they landed into LA, getting out the plane. It's like, oh my God, like light, like people, freedom.
I can't imagine wanting to do a bubble system again. I mean, it worked. Like you said, it worked. But to do that again, for even if it's a shortened season, I don't think anybody would want to go through that again at all. But, right now, as we speak about it, NBA is fixed upon having a Christmas Day start.
That's what they want. Money, like you said, for money reasons and everything like that. That's their goal.
Yeah, we'll see if there's pushback from the union, the players' union, or whatnot about doing it that soon, because it's very soon. That remains to be seen. But right now, if the NBA has it their way, there'll be the 2021 season on Christmas. And if they do start it next year, you can't really even call it the 2021 season. It's just the 21 season. That's what it is. Maybe they're trying to keep that because I don't know if they care that much that it's that it falls into that, but that's just the facts.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I mean, how much are players like? Do you think Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are developing their game right now? Other young players are like everyone just got off the bubble.
Just got your freedom back.
You just got off the bubble playing basketball for three months. I don't see players like when you look into next season, like, okay, these young guys are going to take the next step to develop. These players are going to say, you might not see that from a lot of teams. Maybe teams like the Timberwolves, their second, third year players might get better, or maybe they're coming out of shape. Like, who knows, man?
I'm not an NBA player, but I tell you this. Depending on when my team is done, whether it's we win a championship, we get eliminated, I'm taking a month to not do anything basketball related.
Yeah.
I'm with my family, I'm chilling, having a good time, whatever. Then the next month, straight dedication to get in basketball shape. Because then if I'm thinking about how other off season is broken down, get a month maybe to yourself, a month to, maybe put in your own work, and then the next month is like training camp.
Yeah.
And I think that's perfect for any player. I don't care if you're the lowest of the low player or the greatest. You get a month to just decompress from the long season and the traveling and just be with your family. You get a month where you can still decompress and take time to be with your family, but you're like, all right, let me get to my personal gym or meet my personal trainer or work out and whatnot. And then the next month you have to get back with your team and start working out and building chemistry and whatnot. I think that's the perfect breakdown for an off season. I mean, any sport, to be honest. That's just my personal opinion. Dirk's asking when's the draft. It's sometime in November. I don't know the exact date, but I'm pretty sure it's sometime in November.
It's like the second week of November. Could be wrong, but it'll be coming up soon. Like I said, it's not a strong draft this year. I don't know. Teams can't even like meet with these rookies. They gotta meet them through Zoom. So I've been hearing that's been a challenge. So it'll be an interesting rookie year for a lot of these players, for a lot of teams to try and develop, and we'll see what our favorite teams do during these times. Because, in all honesty, there might not be a lot of free agent movements. Like when we talk about big name free agents, Rondo's being talked about right now. Like there might not be a lot of big free agent movements going on this year. And another thing is because, everyone's waiting for the year following with Giannis moving forward. But
Dude, Wes is annoying.
What do you say?
So when's the draft? Dude, Wes said Nate might know. Shout out to Nate, who has the inside scoop on everything.
No comments.
Yeah, man, it remains to be seen. It remains to be seen what's going to come of the season. The league that might have been the most successful during this quarantine. I put the NHL up there too because I don't remember hearing too much. I don't know for sure, but I remember hearing too much of, positive tests within the NHL.
You think no one watched the NBA? Nobody watched the damn NHL either. You think NBA's ratings went down?
I didn't watch the NHL. That's just me personally. Especially once the Bruins were done, yeah, I was definitely all set. But yeah, man, we've been talking a lot of different things. The NBA restart, Brady and Patriots, quarantine shows. Let's wrap it up with a little light-hearted conversation on the fact that Halloween's this weekend. And if there was no such thing as coronavirus and pandemic and quarantine and whatever,
Saturday,
this weekend probably would be wild. I don't care if you're a high school kid, a college kid, an adult, because adults have their little Halloween parties too. This weekend would probably be one for the history books in terms of Halloween celebrations. Your little Halloween parties and costumes and events. Like Halloween party in college on a Friday, Saturday night?
I'm trying to think if that's probably. I think we did.
It's happened before, but it's not.
I'm trying to think if it happened with us. I'm pretty sure it did. We're several years removed now, so it definitely happened. The cycle definitely happened.
Halloween. I'm trying to think of any crazy Halloween memories. I will say this, growing up, Halloween was not something, like praised in my household. We didn't care for Halloween too much. And not caring for Halloween too much was instilled in my head from a young age. Because I remember the school I went to, Halloween was huge. Like, oh, that whatever Halloween was on, everything was, oh man, what costume are you wearing to school? What costume are you wearing? What costume are you? Man, I went home and said, Mom, Dad, man, I need a costume. You know, because I think in my school, this thing was you dress up in your costume, then you do like a little parade around the school in your costume. Went home and said, Mom and Dad, I need a costume for Halloween. I need to dress up something. They said, we ain't dressing you up as nothing. You ain't getting no costume. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I was heartbroken. It was kindergarten. I'll never forget. I was in kindergarten, 5 years old. Parents like, yeah, Halloween don't fly in this house. We don't do anything for Halloween. Like, that's not us. And I remember going to school for this damn Halloween parade. I think my parents are slick too. They made me dress up real nice that day. I think they put me in a nice, nice school outfit. My school night, there was no dress code, but I swear that Halloween I had a button up, some dress pants, and maybe some dress shoes that I went to school in. Everybody else got a costume on for this parade around the school, and I'm there in this parade with my classmates with like a button up, dress shoes. I think they dressed me like I was going to church to make the message. I swear to this day. But from that year, like, I never was really one on like, oh, I need to go trick or treating. I never came home begging my parents to go trick or treating. I tell you what, the next day after Halloween in school, the kids came with candy. You know, I was like, yeah, swing some of that this way. I go, yeah, hook me up. But yeah.
You want to talk about Halloween in school?
Halloween in school, bro.
So your parents didn't dress you up, right? Okay, that's cool.
That's
unfortunate. That's unfortunate. First grade. As for Halloween thing, Mom's upset, but she got me a Halloween costume. I think I was Batman Beyond. I was Batman Beyond, first grade. Loved it, man. Killed it. Second grade Halloween come up again. Mom, I need a costume. She's like, oh, no problem. Here's your Batman. So I go second grade, go to school. I'm the Batman Beyond again. Yes. Nobody notices. Nobody remembers this shit. Cool. Third grade come. I say, Mom, Halloween, I need something. I said, yeah, just use it out. The Batman. I'm growing. I can't hear this shit no more.
Maybe y'all look like this.
I went again. That shit did not fly.
It's a nah, Marv.
Weren't you that last year? I've never been so embarrassed in my life. And then everyone in the school, yeah, Mark, you were definitely Batman last year. It's Batman Beyond. It's the red Batman. He was definitely Batman last year, Mark. Little did they know. I was Batman 3 years in a row.
I'm crying. What's Batman last year? Yo, I can hear that. I can hear it. Oh, what's your Batman last year?
Yo. And you know, prior to Halloween, everyone's like, what you gonna be, father? What you gonna I just shut up and say, yeah, I don't know. Come in. I thought the third year I could maybe, be slick with it. Nah, I got called out, man. Got called out for being the same Batman costume for 3 years in a row.
Oh, I'm lying. I did get to dress up one year. I think I finally convinced my parents one year to get me a costume, and they was like, you know what? Whatever, fine. Sure. You get a superhero costume. As you get older, you get a superhero costume. They come with, the little padded 6-pack, arms and stuff. Yeah. I got a Superman costume. Costume made out of bed sheets. Costume was made out of bed sheets, bro. I have no 6-pack. I didn't get no arms.
What was the costume?
It was a Superman costume, but it was just flimsy bed sheets, bro. And it was baggy. It might have been for like a 12-year-old because it didn't fit me, and it was made out of like bed sheets. I swear. That was the only year I got a costume from my parents. I was like, yeah, whatever. Look at you, whatever. and it was some flimsy. I mean, I wore the hell out of that Superman costume for a couple of years too, because I was.
Yes.
But it was not the real like give you a 6-pack and the muscles type one. Oh man, that's funny Halloween story. Shout out to Frank saying he was a ninja 3 years ago.
Oh, he's just going family lineage.
Guy said he was a ninja 3 years in a row. Ah man, Halloween. I mean, another story about Halloween. I remember one thing about me. I used to ride the yellow school bus. And you ride that yellow school bus around Halloween time, especially in the city, wherever you go, they egging the hell out of your bus. No matter what street you go down, make sure your bus windows is up because they egging the hell out of your bus. Cool. I know them bus drivers used to be pissed. But I remember one year, I think it was Halloween, got home from school, the kids on the neighborhoods hanging out on the street. One dude riding around the bike, he's riding around the bike. Yeah, I'm going around egging houses tonight. I'm egging houses. I'm like, and we all cool, like, all right, yeah, egg houses, don't touch mine. I'm like, yeah, see that house over there? That's mine. Don't egg it. Don't egg it. That's mine. He said, oh, that's yours? All right, cool, yeah, but I'm out tonight egging houses. I'm doing it tonight. It's like, cool, just don't touch mine. It gets late, go inside. Definitely watching like Disney Channel movies in my living room, watching like Don't Look Under the Bed or whatever the Disney movies are back in the day. Next thing I know, right on the front door. Until this day, I think it was that motherfucker. I think it was that dude. I think it was him.
You never ran into him, confronted him?
Never did. But I think it was him because I told him not my house, and he must have rode off on his bike and said, yeah, cool, I'm getting your house tonight. And yeah, egg all over the front door.
Halloween times, man. Had some good trick-or-treating in the burbs.
I just stole candy from kids the next, well, not stole, just made sure that they shared candy with me the next day in school.
You stole it.
I won't talk about my criminal acts as an elementary school kid.
Please, I heard some of it.
But I definitely got my hand on some candy that I didn't personally trick or treat.
Favorite Halloween candy?
Sheesh, I don't know. I like Laffy Taffies are great. They stuck in your teeth, but Laffy Taffies are bomb.
Gotta be Reese's, but
I'm not a big chocolate guy. That's just me.
Weirdest. Oh, did you do trick or treating eventually?
I might have went with my friend's little cousin, but I wasn't actually going to the door dressed up. I was just walking with them.
That's the weirdest trick or treat item that you've ever gotten.
I couldn't tell you.
Sometimes someone gave me a notebook once.
Gave you notebooks?
Notebooks and colored pencils.
Cut in the house. Did you get the concept?
Nah, you get it. Derek says Skittles and Crunch. Yeah, Crunch. Crunch is legit like a Halloween candy. You'll never see me go out and buy a Crunch bar. But for Halloween, you give it to me, I'm gonna eat it.
Crunch bar.
Who was the basketball player that did Crunch commercials? Was it Shaq?
I don't know. I have no idea. Yeah, who the hell eat Crunch bars?
Crunch is good. It's just not something like, damn, I really want a Crunch
It's only for the trick of Halloween.
Yeah, it's just that's legit a Halloween candy.
Damn Crunch bar.
Like, I don't know why people pass out Butterfingers.
I like Butterfingers.
Ugh, you weird.
I can't eat them at this age because they get in your teeth, and that's a lot of the extra problems I don't have.
You pass out Butterfingers to kids. You just don't care about them. You don't care about the kids.
Steve Dirk said one his elementary friend got a Bible for. That's whoa.
That's great. That's funny.
It's like ringing the doorbell. You get a sermon and the Bible.
Yep, that's funny. You know not to go to that house no more. Nah, don't go over there.
Which houses are good? Not that one. But I feel bad because the kids, who do participate in trick or treating, it ain't happening this year.
Yeah, your parents don't send your kids out this year.
Yeah, let's
especially if they don't they under the age of like 14.
I think it's okay to just cancel trick or treating this year altogether. It's really okay.
Don't send your kids out trick or treating. Like, what the hell are you? One, you got to think about your own health as a parent. And
it's not worth it.
Why are you having them go ringing doorbells and touching stuff they shouldn't be touching? It just not this year. Sorry, kids.
Not worth it. I don't care if you wear a mask, gloves. I don't care. It's not worth it. Trick or treating this year ain't worth it. Stay home.
Stay home. Tell your folks to buy you a freaking bag of candy or something.
If it works in your crib, have somebody go in the different bedrooms and bathrooms, close the door, walk around the house and knock on the doors and say trick or treat.
Yeah, right.
I'm just trying to get creative.
Yeah, right.
Just not go to the bathroom door.
How are you gonna present that to your parents? You 10 years old. You gonna tell your folks, hey, can we do trick or treat now?
You know what I'm saying? Parents can be creative and make that idea up. Shut off all the lights in the house, close the doors. You got older siblings, something like go in that room, go in that room. Little kid, go knock on these doors, say trick or treat. I'm just trying to get creative. I don't know. I don't trick or treat Halloween. Like it's whatever to me. Like I'm just trying to get creative for maybe the families who are diehard. Oh, the kids are not gonna trick or treat. Oh, like I don't know.
At what age should you start trick or treating?
After your first year of middle school.
7th grade?
6th grade.
6th grade after 6th grade? Nah, you can just trick or treat after. I
don't know.
I say
you shouldn't be trick or treating in high school.
Yeah, your first year in high school, you could trick or treat.
Really? That's how it works?
I think so. Your first year of high school, you still, right? Cause I work with high schoolers now. They're pretty young. First year of high school. After that, if you trick or treating after that, you better be bringing a sibling or something and, figure out how you're going to maneuver to get candy. But yeah, once you pass 14, if you don't got no one younger than you going, you shouldn't really be trick or treating.
Yeah. I would say like once you middle school, you're too old to trick or treat. Because when I think of trick or treat, I'm literally thinking of little kids walking down streets, maybe their parents in the background. But I can't see no tall middle school or high school kid.
Because when you got to get the experience of trick or treating by yourself, so you don't always want to trick or treat with your parents. You want to go with your buddy.
You want to go with a group of friends.
You want to go with a group of friends.
That's
and
like
usually when you go with your group of friends, you're more like at the 13, 14 age.
Okay. Sure.
Dirk says after middle school.
Hey, I don't know. Again, I maybe trick or treated twice in my life, and both those times I was with somebody or I was with somebody who had a younger sibling or niece or nephew or something. I was just walking with them.
Definitely milked having a little sister to get some extra candy for sure. That was great. But yeah, man, it's Double M. Everybody, we ask you to be safe. Be safe this weekend during the Halloween times. And I'm not talking about the kids, I'm talking about the adults. Be safe. We know how it is during the Halloween time. I've been to my fair share of Halloween parties. And I've had a hell of a time. Starting in 2012, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It's a great time.
So everyone be out, be safe. Election week, go out, go vote early if you can, vote on time. Very important time in our lives right now, so everyone just be cohesive, pay attention. Appreciate everyone who's been on Facebook watching.
Yep.
Everyone who's been on IG watching. Everybody that's been on the tube watching. Comments, the hilarious conversations, the serious conversations. You guys are great. Are we here next week?
We maybe do a quick little election show. I don't know. We'll see. We'll ride the wave of how we feel.
Also, follow us on social media. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram.
Double M Media. Yeah.
And we'll let you know what's going on. And this time next week, it's gonna be a hell of a show, hell of a time, hell of a world. It's about to be crazy. It's about to be a crazy world. I'm scared. I'm honestly, I can't even lie. I'm scared about what's about to happen in this world. But we'll Fingers crossed.
Salute. Double M. We out.
Felt like John Wall for a second.
Don't do that. Don't do that.